Hi, everyone. Hello, gentlemen. How are you, Barry and Daniel?
Very well.
Good, good. Thank you. How are you, Qeto?
I'm also doing fine. Thank you. Let's wait for a few minutes until everyone joins, and then we can start this our discussion. Were you, by any chance, affected by the AWS outage yesterday? Because the only thing that was affected actually was my Alexa, who was not responding to me the whole day, and my Prime Video. So I didn't watch any movies yesterday. How did it go with you guys?
I had a client that uses AWS Textract, which is OCR capability,
Mhm.
and it was down for a few hours. Um,
Okay.
yeah, but that's all. But I mean that was significant, but that was all.
For
Well,
me, it was Poly service. I developing proof of concept for one of projects, and
Mhm.
also had maybe less of an hour when I wasn't able to work, and also Slack behaved
Yeah.
strange way.
Mhm.
Yeah, we in some channels we have notifications and reminders, and yesterday we had
Mhm.
like 3 or 5 instead of one. So yeah,
Okay.
I would say not
Okay.
too
Well,
much.
it could have been worse from the news that I was reading and watching. A lot of companies had way worse issues. So I think it was fine with us.
Yes.
Okay. I think we can get started. Hi, everyone, once again, and thank you for joining us today for what I think will be a very timely and honest conversation from AI hype to AI habits. And I want to start with the obvious fact that AI is everywhere right now. Everyone is using it. We're all, or at least they're trying to, because it feels like if you're not using AI, you are falling behind. And I think in a way that's true, but the main issue that we're seeing right now is that uh, AI hype kind of turned into AI chaos. We're all rushing to try new tools, download new plugins, learn how to prompt properly. And half the time, it was my case. 100% that I ended up wasting hours trying to make something work, and I didn't know what tool was right, I didn't know how to use that tool, etc., etc., etc. So for me, this experience started in a very chaotic way, and I remember when I was trying to figure out how LLMs work, I felt like my grandma trying to use her smartphone, except now it was me. I was the one who was, going around to my coworkers, Daniel, our engineering guys, and I was asking them like, what should I do? And I remember the first time one of my colleagues addressed GPT as LLM. I was like, no, 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 I don't want to know anything about LLMs. I want to know how AI works. And it was funny, obviously, and thankfully that was at least a year ago, and now I know how to write my prompts and how to use them. But what I'm trying to say is that I think most of our viewers relate to that, because the atmosphere right now is that AI is powerful, but it's also new, confusing, and moving so fast that it's super easy to get lost, especially when you don't have a tech background. So that's why I'm really, really happy that we're having this discussion today. We have two experts who have not only worked with AI, but have built systems and cultures around it. I'm going to introduce our speakers right now. First, let me introduce Barry Price. He's an AI success advisor with fascinating career background. He's been as CIO, CTO, and COO with strong experience in EOS and operational leadership, and he's been working with AI since the very early days. Barry now helps organizations go beyond the basic "let's use ChatGPT" stage and instead build full AI playbooks for IT leaders, managed service providers, and internal innovational teams. And Barry also has helped teams achieve up to 100 efficiency gains through smart AI adoption and culture change. Now let's move to Daniel. You might remember him from our previous webinars. He's head of engineering here at Ralabs. Daniel has over 15 years in software and data engineering and more than 5 years focused on AI and automation. He's helped over 7 startups grow from early ideas into stable, revenue-generating products, and he's always with a strong focus on data, reliability, and real-world impact. So we have two amazing perspectives today, one from the business and leadership side and one from the engineering and product side. Now, let's start with something we've all noticed lately. For me, it feels like every startup, every product out there suddenly became AI powered. And I feel like there's a pressure to show investors or customers that you're doing something with AI, even if it's not clear why. So, my first question goes to Barry. Many startups feel this pressure to showcase AI for visibility or investment, but not all use cases generate ROI, right? So how can they know if their AI idea is useful or it's the hype to look for good, to look good for investors?
Well, thank you. I think first let's start with kind of a separation of where to apply AI. One is on products and services, which is what your question is about. The other is on the staff of the company and using an AI internally for improving productivity and operations, those kind of things. And we'll talk about that a little later, I'm sure. But just I can't tell you how many calls I'm getting from CTOs that our board is saying we have to use AI in our product. What do we do? So I would start with looking at your distinct capabilities of your product and where you have key knowledge, i.e. intellectual property or whatever you want to call it, that distinguish your service in the marketplace. And then use AI to enhance that. Bring your knowledge into a knowledge base, add it to your chatbot, add it to your other capabilities of interaction with people through customer support and other issues as well. So look for value is the key thing. And I'll give you $1 million ideas to start with. Ask AI. Give AI your website. Say, where can we apply AI? And bingo.
Yeah, that's such an important point. And I want to move a little to the tech side as well. Daniel, from your side, what's your internal process for validating use cases before investing engineering time? Like, how do you decide if an AI idea is worth building from tech perspective?
We're using what Barry mentioned, so we're trying to rely on the data of the existing project and how this data interconnected. Because AI, one of the best feature of AI, I believe, it's these data pipelines, and when you can talk to your data in some way, and these agentic flows, they are also built around that. And we're just validating if the idea is feasible in the first place, and then we trying to understand how much efforts you need to put in this to get some tangible result. And by this proportion, we can essentially kind of move forward or say that it's not feasible at all, or it will be so expensive that it's not worth to implement. But in relation to your first question, yes, there are absolutely things which are requested by investors, by companies, and in some cases it's even not AI, but more like automation or data engineering stuff. Yeah, so this is how we're doing this.
One thing I'd add to that, Daniel, is I also get these proposals about, I want to build this stack to do this particular service. Test it first with AI before spending, lots of money on building the stack.
Actually, my second question was about this transformational period between experimenting and doing the actual stuff. I think a lot of companies are stuck right in the middle. They experiment, they try tools, but it never really becomes part of how they work. So, Barry, what are the most common things that stop companies from moving beyond AI tests to real business use? Because I do hear from a lot of people that they are testing, they are trying, and then the processes stop.
Well, I think most of the reports we're hearing about, 95% of AI projects fail. That's big hype. are mostly internal projects, not products and services. So, and my gut feel is that these are top down. And the executives have said, "You will do this. You will get 5x more productive," or something like that. And it really starts. It's a change management problem. We know this as technologists, that it's really a change management, a transformation issue with people. It's not the technology. In fact, I was reading the other day that IT projects used to be 80% tech and 20% spend on people. Now it's like 80% spend on people and 20% spend on tech. So you got to approach people with empathy and listen and give them the skills. Internally, AI I think of as a skill. It's going to be like using a spreadsheet or doing a Word document or using your smartphone. It's a skill, and we don't even put that on the resume anymore. We expect it. And a few years from now, we will expect every employee to have AI skills. And they themselves will be able to apply AI to their own work, to their own standard operating procedures, the operations they're in, like a financial person doing a cash flow analysis. They'll see how to use AI to do that, and therefore produce an ROI immediately. A lot of the training tools that I'm familiar with are also providing journaling mechanisms for recording. I used AI to do this. It saved me this much time. Monthly, it's going to save me this much time. So just a very simple journaling mechanism can show an ROI very quickly.
So while you were talking, Barry, I've been thinking about the phrase that I see everywhere in every LinkedIn post about AI, that AI is not going to replace your job, the people who use AI will. And I can agree to that phrase. And from what I'm seeing, a lot of companies have started adapting this machine learning engineering teams, and they have this dedicated team who know how AI or LLMs work, and they rely on those teams. But we received a lot of questions before after announcing the webinars that some startups do not have that luxury to have dedicated ML teams. So I wanted to ask Daniel about that. What if a company doesn't have a dedicated ML team and they don't have the luxury of that? What's your advice to startups building AI features without dedicated teams? How can they make real progress without overcomplicating things?
So I totally agree with Barry on skills. So it's essentially a combination of necessary skills and true beliefs in that approach, that technology working in general. Yeah, and when you have a team of engineers or a team of I don't know, marketing people or any kind of team who need to utilize AI, they need to know at least basics. And one of fundamental things, I believe, is that they should shift their approach to some kind of probabilistic way of interaction with AI systems. What I mean by that is that people should understand that despite all our computer science saying that we should have true or false, we should have particular clean numbers, AI doesn't work like that. We have math, we have statistics in there, and we having results based on some previous knowledge, and it provide us with some predictions, and it's actually prediction. Yeah, so it's some kind of probability of something. Yeah, and if you're asking about, I don't know, average temperature in the ocean or average currency rate or whatever you will ask, I don't know, average usual amount of people on some concert, whatever information you will get from there, it not 100% kind of precise. So you need to have this basic understanding, and you obviously need to have basic understanding about math and how model operates. In our world, it should be enough to progress. Yeah, you don't even need this dedicated ML team or some people with this particular expertise. And essentially, this changed last 3 years. Yeah, because before you was locked without ML engineer, without ops and other very narrow specialization, you wasn't able to produce anything. With large language models, with OpenAI, with this GPT 3.5 and all this revolution which happened maybe 2 or 3 years ago, it was necessary. And what's happened now is it's similar to what happened with Windows. Yeah, when Windows came out, and Bill Gates said that any person can sit and use the computer. Yeah, so before we use these matrix printers and all the room size computers, big ones, and we needed I don't know, teams of people who will operate with it. Now it can be done by anyone essentially. So that's what's happening.
Yeah, okay. So from what I'm putting, first of all, we need to change how we see AI. And instead of looking at it as just like a tool that you just, what I think is that a lot of people think that are only chatbots, and that's it. So we have to change that. We have to understand that it's a skill, and then Daniel, you mentioned that we need to start building the right foundation, right? So let's stay on the engineering side for a moment. Many teams want to use AI, but they're not sure how to set up the right foundation. What you were discussing right now, Daniel. What does a lightweight but scalable AI stack look like for mid-size engineering teams? I'm not talking about like huge corporations, just a mid-size engineering team.
So from my point of view, you need to look into the things which saving you time on some repeatable tasks, yeah, which you need to do often, and when you're just spending your time. And it can be code reviews, it can be unit test generation, it can be transformation from documentation to particular feature requirements. So such kind of things, and every team they expanding by their own approach. Yeah, so some team can say that code review they will not delegate to AI, never. Yeah, some team can delegate I don't know, architecture design. So it's kind of preference. But what is main thing is that understanding that with these tools, and it's not kind of fixed limited set of tools. You can save time, and you can get rid of some uninteresting boring tasks.
Sure. And we keep mentioning that data is very important, right? What about when the data is not ready? Where should a CTO start if their data isn't fully prepared for AI workflow? I believe they should start with making sure that the data is ready, right?
Yeah, so maybe two ways. One way is to spend time with data people, with data engineers, with data analytics, and see what permissions, what data they have, yeah, and what they need to do with it. And another way, it's kind of very naive approach, yeah, but it also works, and even works without expertise, without particular focus. When people just coming from zero, and just doing something with the data they have, and with the way of experiments they still achieving result. So I would recommend just to keep it simple, make short iterations, so all by best agile practices, and get some quick feedback to see what can be improved. And the AI can help build AI process by himself, just because you can ask how to do one thing or another. Because currently I'm developing very new things which are not exist. Yeah, and it's like blue ocean. You don't know how to tackle one or another thing, and you can just experiment and use models to get possible scenarios, possible ways how to proceed. And that's the way.
If I could add to that as well. I often hear a data first approach. The data is not ready, therefore we can't use AI. I use AI to clean up your data. Okay. I was doing analysis of several, tens of thousands of customer support tickets, for example. And I just asked AI, give me some standard reports to look at customer support data. I started running the reports. So it's a very quick way of seeing the data without having to use any other tool. And very quickly, it identified, well, 20% of those tickets were moved over, and therefore you need to discount them. And it was a very quick way to clean up the data, to look at and clean up the data.
Yeah, that's such an interesting approach. Before we move on to the next questions, I just wanted to address to our viewers, if any of you have any questions, feel free to ask them via comments. We see comments on both of the platforms, and our speakers here will be more than happy to address them and answer them. Now I want to go back to the comment that you mentioned, Barry, that I really liked, that AI is 80% people and 20% tech. And it ties nicely into the people side, because even if the tech is perfect, teams still need guidance on how to use it, right? And from the stories of different companies that we've been hearing is that there are situations where the teams have non-tech project managers, for example. So how should non-technical managers help their teams understand and use AI well?
Good question. So this gets really into the habits part of this talk about how do you create a habit. And I've written some newsletters about this, and sort of subdividing the roles of people and their responsibilities with AI. Management should be setting policy. They should be helping, we're going to use this particular AI tool. We're going to use it in this way so it's secure, and get IT to help set those security parameters. But management should be setting policy about how we're going to use AI in the company. Team leaders, like you're addressing, should be focusing on bringing training to their teams, to setting goals, taking the corporate goals, the company goals, and translating those into the goals for the team, their department. And then how's AI possibly going to help? And then employees should be, of course, following the policies. That's important, which is part of the hype around AI, is that 75% of employees are using AI, and they're bringing their own AI into companies, and management doesn't know that they're even using AI, which is kind of a serious problem, security problem. But following policy and identifying areas of their work where they can apply AI. And then the team leaders should be focusing on, ask simple questions every week. Where did you use AI to help you this week? Did it help you or not? If it didn't help you, let's move to another experiment of using AI, that kind of thing. So that's how I would encourage the culture to change for AI to become a habit.
Yeah, since we're talking about the culture, I've been noticing that a lot of people actually are afraid of experimenting with AI. I think we've moved past the being scared of AI in general thing, but they're kind of scared of it. So, Barry, I know that you talk about how important it is to test with AI. So I wanted to ask you, you've said before that AI is the worst it will ever be. What do you mean by that, and why it is so important to experiment with AI?
Well, the point is it's only going to get better. Okay,
Of course.
better at answer questions, better at analyzing data, better at interaction, those kind of things. But saying it that way makes it kind of funny. It's the worst it's going to ever be. And yes, I mean, people, it's a comfort level of using AI. We need to move beyond simple query like it's Google to an interaction with AI, to question its output, to challenge what it's saying, to redirect it when it's off course, and when it starts hallucinating, to just say, stop. That's not where we're going. That's wrong. This is, I know this is not right, kind of thing. And we need to treat it, think of it like an assistant or maybe an intern, or just like interacting with another person, kind of thing. So you need to get to that level of comfort. And then there's, of course, establishing good context. There's some guidelines on writing good prompts, but frankly, AI is better at writing prompts than we are. So just ask it to write a prompt for you. I always end my prompts with, I'm asking a question. I need to do research on so-and-so. Ask me any clarifying questions. I always end my prompt with that. And then it comes back and it guides us together to clarify what the topic is and where we want to go.
Yeah, actually, that's the best advice I think I've ever received when talking about interacting with chatbots. Let the chatbot write the prompt for you. You just tell ChatGPT what you want to do. Tell it to ask you questions, and it's gonna do the job for you. And it helped me a lot. And everyone is noticing that if you have a good prompt, obviously you are receiving a better result. And since we're talking about fast change, let's tie it back a little bit back to the people as well. What leadership skills are most important in AI first companies, and which ones matter a little less now? Barry, what do you think?
Oh gosh, that's a harder question. we're in the middle of an industrial revolution type of change to humanity. And think back to, when electricity was introduced, or when industrial revolution started, nobody knew exactly what to do or what skills were needed. I think basic soft skills of listening to people and providing clear direction and clarity and those kind of things are still important skills, AI or not. And they will certainly help in this world. I think leaders should embrace AI. I did training for a 100-person company, and just last week the CEO reached out to me directly, said, I want to update my board presentation, help me do it. So that kind of everybody in the company embracing AI, how it can then help me do my job better. That's important. And so management encouraging that, helping to support it, bringing in the right tools as needed, and and we'll talk about this later, I'm sure, but bringing in the right partners like you all, Rehab, bringing in the right partners to help you get over maybe that fear or that I don't know how to do it kind of feeling is important.
Okay.
I have comment also.
Sorry.
Yeah. So what I want to add that I truly believe that leaders should be these kind of topic starters. They should on an early stage show the direction, show what can be done and how it can be done and how you can use it. Because I treat AI as just another new tool, just another new technology which can be utilized to achieve some goals. And I remember like how it was 2-3 years ago when it was just started, and it was Devin or something like that the first, and it didn't work as expected, and it was a lot of people who were upset by that. But then GPT appeared, and other models and LLMs were built, and people were not aware how to use it. They just wasn't able to imagine, I would say, how it can be used in what way. Now I see that tech guys, like engineering teams, they are ahead. Yeah, so they are like well ahead of I don't know, regular people who not very involved into software development and stuff. And when you just throw some information, share it, and expose it to people, they start to think about this. Yeah, and you need some time to build some habits, to see the way how it can be used, and then people essentially becoming well aware of the way and approach. So they kind of onboarding, yeah, and you need time. You just need to time, and to be ahead, you need to start now to do at least small steps to progress. Maybe make small progress, but after months, you will have this result.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. The idea that leaders don't need to have all the answers, but they need to build confidence and systems around learning, and they need to be open to trying new things. That's a very good point. Okay. Let's say we changed the mindset on how we see the AI, and we have a very nice AI initiative. Daniel, how do you measure the success of an AI initiative? How do we do that in Ralabs?
So we have metrics, and we did this 2 times already when we had just a simple survey. It's connected to DevX, developer experience, about this flow state, about cognitive load, and about I forgot third pillar of DevX. So cognitive load, flow state, and another one. I will check it. And we asked people what they feel, how it affects these three pillars. And
Sorry, just found all 3 pillars: feedback loops, cognitive load, and flow state.
Feedback loops. Yes, and feedback loops can be like from consumers, from the clients, but also inside of the team. And we asked people what they feel about it. Yeah, so is there any change? And by that survey, we saw that maybe at the first survey, we saw that maybe 40% of people using AI, and from that amount, maybe 10% feel that it affects performance. The second time we measured it, already 80% of people used AI, and 20% of them use this improve of performance. But important thing here that we are not operating with AI as some kind of I don't know, magic wand or something which can just make you doing more. People not excited with that. People more excited with the idea that they can do the same amount of the things, like deliver the same amount of features, for example, but spend less efforts. Yeah, so like cognitive load will be lower, and it will mean that people will not be in stress. They will not struggle with gaining some knowledge, some access, some domain-related information. They will easily fetch it, and they will do what they like to do. They will achieve results with less effort. And with that idea, we building our metric system, and we measuring essentially these three components.
Okay.
Yes.
Barry, did you want to add something, or?
Sure. If you could show slide 15 that I provided. So I mentioned journaling as a mechanism, and yeah, that one. It actually, the journaling is recorded in 2 ways. One, it's recorded per person making the journal entry. That goes into a feed so that the team can see how the team is using AI in different ways, and it rolls up into this kind of dashboard. and this is a platform called simpleacademy.ai. But you see that, they've been using this platform for a few months. This is about a 20-person, one of my clients, about 20 people. They've saved 215 hours, and by average cost per person, that rolls up to 10K. But the repetitive savings is rolling up to over almost 4,000 hours, which is $180,000. So we're talking about some real money. Now, there's things on here that aren't so good, like the participation rate is only 10%. As you mentioned, not everybody's going to say how they're using it or not. I'd like to see that number higher. So that gets back to the kind of the weekly repetition of asking on a regular basis, have you used AI? What did you use it for? Did it work? That kind of thing. So it's a pretty simple way of rolling up an ROI. Thank you for showing that.
Okay. When companies decide to go deeper with AI, choosing the right tools or partners can be tricky, especially when early results are hard to measure, right? So, Barry, how can CEOs choose the right AI tools or partners when results are hard to see at the early stages?
I'm pretty basic about this. If you're a Microsoft environment, use Microsoft. If you're a Google environment, use Google. Use Gemini, or use Microsoft Copilot. Nowadays AI is embedded in almost every tool we use, in Slack and Salesforce and HubSpot and ClickUp and Jira and there's AI in every tool. So it's kind of hard to avoid AI at this point. But pick one of those and just start interacting with it. Ask it for a summary of if it's a Salesforce tool, then ask for a summary of a client, or ask for a summary of a document, or ask for a report, kind of thing. Just get used to using it as a choice. So as a CEO, that's what I would first encourage. The executive team, I would first encourage, use the tools we already have in place.
Yeah, there are. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that there are so many tools on the market right now, so many different tools for all of the different things. And I just wanted to ask Daniel, with so many AI tools, it's hard to know which ones are actually useful. And I remember you were talking about the tool set that you had for your personal usage of the tools that you personally use and recommend. Could you please share that with us? I could really, really use it right now, because I'm in the stage of that chaotic looking for what's best for meeting note takes, what's best for, I don't know, summarizing the documents, etc., etc., etc. So please do talk about that personal recommendations of yours.
Yeah, so in relation to previous question, it's also connected. The platforms and big cloud providers, they're using models. Yeah, so we tried both ways when we tried to set up our models, our serverless infrastructure to provide LLMs and this ability to have isolated system. And then I noticed that the majors like OpenAI, like Claude and others, they moving quite fast. And if you just thinking about some approach or some new project which you can develop, or you're thinking about some way how you can do this, because when GPT 3.5 appeared, I started to think about some way when I can do my custom GPT. And after a month or two, they released this, So like, I believe that a lot of people thinking about this, and these big players, they collecting and understanding what pivot they need to do or what new product they need to develop, and they developing the most important and most interesting things, And because of that, they have this evolution. They evolving quite fast. So the general approach is to be aware what models performing well, and who are the leaders currently for particular tasks. If you want to recognize images, you want to go with this particular model. If you want to write code, you need to go with that one, and so on and so on. Yeah. So depending on your task, you need to know what models performing well and under what hood it will be, and which cloud provider system will help you with that. It doesn't actually matter. They competing with each other, and they have, like Linux and Windows, like Google and I don't know, Azure in terms of Google Cloud and Azure, like in terms of providing. So they just big players compete, and they trying to provide end users with good results. It's about tools I'm using. So I very like to record my calls, and I experimented with maybe 5 or 7 tools. And I stick to Notion, because Notion quite good in recording calls and summarizing it. And depending on the case, I can use Zoom or ChatGPT. Specifically for architecting systems and preparing some visualization, I'm using Napkin AI and Eraser.io. With CEO of Eraser.io, I even connected in LinkedIn, and we chatting from time to time to discuss, because I'm big fan of this tool. You just providing text description, and it visualize the whole architecture for you. So ChatGPT is a multi-tool essentially for a lot of things, and they proceed with these releases, like they adding Figma, they adding deep research in your Google Calendar and all your data. And obviously I'm using cloud models and cloud code to develop something, to decompose things, to generate stuff, to code, to whatever related to software development. And I also using MCPs. So this is a protocol which allows to connect different type of data in like AI way. Yeah, so it's quite good. And for searching and parsing the data through the internet, I'm using Perplexity, and I'm using few other models, few other systems like Gemini from Google, and so on. Yeah, but the tendency is that I believe that these big players, they will try to have multiple products, multiple directions to collect the data, aggregate it, to do something with it, all inside of one system. So yeah, that's the way I predict.
You did prepare this amazing AI toolkit that I will be downloading as soon as the webinar is ended. And I wanted to inform our viewers that if anyone wants to receive this toolkit, feel free to comment your email addresses on the streams. And if you don't feel comfortable sharing your email addresses with everyone, feel free to connect with me or Daniel on LinkedIn, and
Yeah.
we will be more than happy to share this.
I would also add that when it started, maybe a year and a half ago, we created the library, and then we found few more libraries in the internet with all these tools, and it's like thousands of projects and products which doing whatever you can imagine. And the challenge now is to find particular tool which is works. Yeah, like for any task you have hundreds of them, and I'm very proud of this list because it's already tested. So it's that the things which works. You will not spend time to just experimenting with another thing just to understand if it works or not.
Yeah, thank you. You did I don't know, a great work with not wasting, spending sorry, mixed the words, spending so much time on testing, and thank you for sharing that with us. And now I want to move to the big mindset strategy related questions. I want to start with Barry. Should we use AI to save costs or to grow the business? Barry, how do you think? How can CEOs think about that balance? Because that's what we've been seeing in most of AI discussions, and a lot of questions that we received for the webinar were around that. Like, how can we think about it?
Yes. Well, I think I would start with the internal operations and saving money, saving cost. However, I mean, if you look at the big impacts of AI, they are going to be on scaling, on growing the business. Like, can I handle more customer support, or can I do more marketing outreach, or can I, which is still operations related, but it's start with internal operations with a sense of how do I scale the business? How do I grow the business? How do I make my department more efficient to grow the business?
Okay, so once the strategy is clear, then I believe it's up to the engineering teams to make it real. So I'm going back to Daniel on this one. How do you balance using external AI models like OpenAI or Anthropic with concerns around data and IP controls? Because when we talk about AI, the first red alert that comes in everyone's mind is security and safety.
It's also enablement of features. So security is just a feature, yeah. And when we did our first proof of concept for one of our clients, at that time ChatGPT wasn't private, yeah. So if you feed the data in there, it will end up somewhere else, and you don't know where, yeah. So OpenAI used all the data provided to train their models, and it was in a disclaimer. But then they had this split when they started to provide team subscription, corporate subscription with this isolated storage. Yeah, so when you're providing your data, you can I don't know, tick the checkbox and say, I don't want my data will be used for training purposes. So it's just a feature under the hood. And I implemented this. I used Azure to do this. You can isolate the data. You can build your own RAG, yeah. So and have all the data isolated. So if, for example, your platform have several tenants, the data between tenants will not mix up. So yeah, and in past, it was some kind of concern, and we still have necessity to use, I don't know, some particular models or some particular technology where we do not have this guarantee. But in the most cases, it's guaranteed by provider. And you just need to read the disclaimer and enable it and use it. Yeah, the same with coding tools, because Cursor also, when it started, one of pioneers was the tool named AWS Code Whisperer, and everyone already forgot it, but it was like 2 years ago. And now they just have Amazon Q, yeah, as a supporter. And at start, you needed to go and particularly say that please don't use my data. Now it's in most system it's by default, and it just cost and setup which lays under the hood on provider side.
Okay.
This is, just to add to that, this is probably the biggest question in AI at the moment, I think, is how to keep data and intellectual property control. And this is where bringing in a vendor or an outside help to advise on security settings or advise on the right tools, internal or building the right tools, is essential at this current point in AI.
Yeah. And from what we've been discussing, I think the final level of us understanding and working with AI is people and AI working together, right, side by side, not separated. So what I wanted to cover also is that it's one thing to test AI, but another to truly integrate it into daily work, right? When people and AI actually collaborate. So Barry, what helps companies move from AI testing to real success with people and AI working together, what we've been discussing right now?
Again, I like the kind of bottom-up approach of having people doing the AI and reporting it at the team level and up to the executive level as well, with encouragement around using AI. So for example, with many of my clients, I meet weekly for just a 15-minute call with the department head. How are you using AI? What's working? Where could we maybe use it? That kind of thing. And sometimes it ends up being just, I need to turn on prospecting agent in HubSpot rather than building a prompt kind of thing. It's simple things that make big progress. So that's, and then underlying that is of course training to upskill the whole team.
Okay. And Daniel, could you share a recent use case where our team applied AI to improve an internal process or a client delivery, something that shows that shift from experiment to habit?
I have a few examples essentially. So internally, we have a regular challenge with staffing the team, and we need to quickly gain some information about people's skills. And obviously, in our CRMs and internal data, we can have particular explanation of one's skills, yes, of some person's skills, but it do not contain synonymous. Yeah, it do not contain maybe some variations. And what we did internally, we connected our internal knowledge base with CVs of people. Yeah, and ChatGPT built some index, search index, and now we can talk to our data. We can get information about skills of people to make perfect fit to create a team. And let's imagine that someone has this line in CV which says, I have experience with Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch in some clouds is also named OpenSearch. Yeah, so like in AWS, the service is named OpenSearch, and client can want in particular to have OpenSearch. And when we will when we using this connection, we can write OpenSearch, and AI will provide us with CVs of people who experience with OpenSearch and with Elasticsearch, because it's the same. Yeah, but in our internal knowledge base, it's just a matter of wording. That's the one tool. Another tool I'm working on it now. We used to help our clients to fill forms. So their product is about filling a huge amount of forms, and to fill such forms manually is quite complex stuff and time-consuming. And we're developing system which helps to fill these forms based on voice. So essentially, AI can read some particular questions in interview, and you can provide answers, and AI will so the system will send your voice to the backend. Backend will send it to AI. It will be recognized, and JavaScript on the front end will fill this data inside of the form. So these, I would say, most interesting examples we had so far.
Thank you for sharing that.
If I could share one quick example, this is my favorite journal entry of all the ROI entries. Is a commercial construction company project manager, and she wrote, "I'm an assistant project manager. I've never done risk analysis on my projects because it takes way too long. I did it with AI. It did it in 45 minutes, and it's really good." That is so like, wow. That's how to use AI.
Yes, exactly. And we've talked a lot about strategy and systems, and yeah, that's the simplest way to explain like how it should be used and what AI is good for. And yeah, success with AI depends on how companies actually work with AI, right? In everyday workflows. But what we've been noticing is that there are a lot of companies trying AI, and some of them are succeeding, some of them are struggling. I believe I already know the answer to that, but I want to, prove my point with you gentlemen. Why do you think that happens? Is it the mindset? Is it not enough knowledge? And let's wrap this very nice conversation and discussion up with just summing up what companies are doing wrong and what they should be doing better. Who will be the first?
Well, I'll take a shot at this. I am seeing a good bit of success. To me, it's like there could be way more success than is happening right now. But I do see some failures, mostly in the sense of there being a solution's being dictated and the skills are not there to use it properly or something like that. It's just a mismatch between people and the tool. And that's easy enough to fix. That's a soft skill to fix that. And the tool is probably perfect to do what it needs to do. It's just not being explained right or something like that. So that's where, and we're all experimenting. This is in America terms, this is wild west here. Wild west.
Yes.
That's right. So we're all experimenting, and yes, we are going to fail. Some of them will fail, and we just need to learn from each one of those. That's the key.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's perfect thought. I believe that the key is in a lot of the cases is a culture, and culture to experiment and to kind of try new things to see if it giving results. So and yes, totally agree. You should be ready to fail, because like I had also interview with people, like several of interviews with people, and I asked them what stopping you from using AI, what kind of what disappointment you had, and maybe half of the people saying that I tried a few times and it was bad, that I was not happy, and because of that experience, I just stopped to do it. And that says to me that if people will still proceed, if people will still try and experiment and see results, they will get it. Because if we will compare what we have now with what we had maybe 1 year ago, that's a very big difference. Like a year ago, the half of the systems we have now, even most famous one, they still had a lot of failures. They still wasn't able to provide good results, good predictions, and there were a lot of problems and challenges, but it's evolving quickly. And I also understood that people who just thought about AI maybe half a year ago, 1 year ago, now they understand that they are cooked without AI. They will be like they will be pushed back and they will not keep up. They will just be like they will not be able to compete. So this I think very human nature, very human value to be competitive. So to be competitive and try without fear of failure, I think is the key.
Wow, that's such a good note to end on. Barry, Daniel, thank you both so much for your insights and for helping us to see that AI is not just about tech. It's about people. It's about culture. It's about mindset, and it's about the courage to experiment. And thanks to everyone who joined. We really hope that we answered all of the questions that were sent from you before the webinar. If there's any questions left, please feel free to add Daniel and Barry on LinkedIn. They are more than happy, as you all witnessed now, happy to answer all of the questions, provide all of the insights and all of the knowledge that they have gathered throughout many years. And yeah, once again, thank you everyone for joining. We hope you leave with a few ideas to take back to your teams and turn it into real everyday AI habits.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Barry.
you. Bye-bye.
It was a pleasure. Bye.